Okay, so welcome to the call tonight, guys. I know this is our Rock the Basics call, so we're talking to, some new coaches, some veteran coaches, some coaches that maybe were discount coaches in the beginning and want to get back into the business or want to start the business. I want to tell you guys that it's never too late to get started, okay? So I will share more about me in a minute, but this is all about mastering the power hour. This is going to be vital to your business, guys. I would say the past 2.5 years I've been a coach, I basically work an hour a day, okay? Some days more, some days less. Not less, but I always focus on 1 hour per day set aside. And I'll talk about it more, but I focus on, 1 hour a day. And usually I do that during nap time. I'm a daycare provider. So when the kids go to nap, it's gold. So any of you guys that are parents, focus on that because it's vital. So let's get started. And as I said before, I had some issues with my slides. So if they're blurry, that's why. I'm sorry, I apologize. And I can even upload the PDF. So about me, my name is Sarah Chikianis. I am 22 years old. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. If I'm talking fast at all, just tell me. I always talk super fast. I'm a daycare provider. I've been a coach for 2.5 years. My 3-year anniversary will be in, August. I'm just in May. My challenge anniversary is in May. But I am a diamond coach. I'm founder of Team Knockout. I call it TKO. I am an autoimmune warrior and PCOS fighter. So I have celiac disease, for those of you that don't know. It's a gluten intolerance, like very severe. I also have a wheat allergy and tree nut allergy. And I also have this thing called mast cell activation. So needless to say, I've had a lot against me over the past 2.5 years that I found out all this and have been a coach, but I decided, I can either sit back and let my illness take over or I could fight back. So instead of just sitting there and wallowing for 2.5 years, instead I decided to share my story and turn my mess into a message. So that's something I'm really passionate about. And I'm a recent college graduate, so I have recently just graduated. I started the business when I was 19 years old, guys. So I know in our sneak peek week we just had, maybe some of you guys were in it. Were any of you guys in the sneak peek week that are in here? Yes? Okay, awesome. So in the sneak peek week, we had a lot of questions, about starting this business young or anything. And needless to say, I was 19. I'm pretty sure I was the youngest one on the team at the time. I didn't care. I still went to Summit. I couldn't go to the parties or anything because I was too young, but I didn't care. I said, you know what? I have a message that needs to be shared, and I'm going to share it anyways. If I look to the right, you guys are like on the right side of my screen, so I'm always like staring at you guys instead of the screen. So that's that. But see, this is a little blurry. Is it too blurry for you guys? Is that better? Okay, I'll just zoom in more. It was a lot clearer before, but when I downloaded these slides, it got super blurry. So I'm going to share with you a power hour breakdown I learned at the Platinum Edge event in 2014. I was an Emerald coach, so I had 2 coaches underneath me, my mom and a friend, and I said, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to fly to Dallas by myself at 19. I didn't care. I didn't care if people thought I was weird. I went. And I was like, you know what, this could either go really well or this could be like catfish and people are fake. But just kidding. But people were real, let me tell you. I was the youngest one there. I loved it. And this was taught to me, and I still use it to this day, 2 years later, and I love it. So it's just a breakdown of the power hour. Feel free to make this your own, but this is what's worked for me. And this is what I've stuck to. So this was originally presented by Lindsay Krause. She's a top coach. And she breaks down that 1 power hour in 20 minutes. So if you're a busy mom or, you're a school teacher, I know school teachers have have a hard time adding that power hour to their day. I have a few on my team, but instead, focus on those 20-minute segments. If you can only do 20 minutes at a time, that's fine. I always tell my team, do what you can with what you have, okay? It's really about putting those excuses aside and really just focusing. So 20 minutes, we're going to go into segments, okay? So feel free to take your notes. I can post this graphic, the less blurry one, and Rock the Basics for you guys. So that will probably help you. So the first 20 minutes is initiating conversations, okay? That's going to be the lifeline of your business, initiating those conversations. If you are just posting on Facebook, that's great, or Instagram. But where this business truly works and those invites work and those messages work is through private messaging, okay? That's maybe 95% of your business, I would say. And yes, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, but if you stick to the system, it will not. Anytime I feel overwhelmed with my business, I realize I'm not sticking to the systems that are already provided for us. So don't go out there and reinvent the wheel. So initiating conversations, which is your contact list, make sure you guys have one, and I will go over how to track. But first, if you always have outgoing, you always have incoming, right? So I remember as a new coach, I would see Carly being like, guys, I have 100 new inbox messages, and I'm over here like, well, shit, like I have one. Like, this sucks. But I realized, the more that I send out, the more I'm going to get in. So I decided, I need to take initiative, and the more messages you send, the more that will come back. If you send 5 new messages a day, hopefully you'll have 5 plus more coming in each and every day, okay? So it's really a system going in and out. So if you always have outgoing, you'll always have incoming messages. Remember that. Yes, people will ignore you. I saw a post in Rock the Basics earlier last week, or in Team Iron Edge, saying, I got blocked on Facebook. Guess what happens? There's sour apples. There's people that think you're out there to sell. Let's be real, we aren't. If we were just doing that, we wouldn't be on a call learning to better ourselves, right? So focus on that. Don't let your mindset get in your way. And that's what personal development's for. But social media is another part of your conversations. Form people, okay? Family, occupation, recreation, and message. I will go over that again. Because I know this is a lot of content right here, but focus on asking people how they are. I love sending messages just like this. Hey girl, how are you doing? You crossed my mind. I want to get back in touch. How are you? Many of my messages are, hey girl, how are you doing? Haven't talked to you since December. How are you doing? How was Christmas? How are your kids? How is your job going? Has it calmed down since last time we spoke? I always ask them about their life. People are very open. They love to be asked questions about themselves, right? I know if someone messaged you and they're like, hey girl, how's your day going? You would love it, right? Especially if you have a bad day sometimes, that's what you need, is someone just to ask, how are you doing? So feel free to send those messages. I send at least 5 hey girl messages each and every day. They're different. I customize them, but you know what? Without a fail, best thing in my business is sending hey girl messages. Hey girl, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Simple, right? Done. It doesn't take much time. So make sure you're tracking these, like I said, whether it's pen and paper or another system that we'll talk about. The next 20 minutes, following up and inviting. This is the most important 20 minutes of your day, okay? I remember as a new coach, I was afraid to follow up. Let's be real. The success is in the follow-up. Always, 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 okay? At the end of every month, I don't send as many invites. I send more follow-ups than anything, because chances are, if you were doing your work the rest of the month, you just need to follow up with people. Ask them where they're at, and if you don't follow up, someone else will, okay? And maybe they're going to be a coach that doesn't have a challenge group. Maybe they're just going to be a coach that sets them up with a program and they don't have a success system. So make sure you're doing the follow-up and you're inviting. So here's some scripts you can use. You can say, if you're in a conversation, after you ask your hey girl message, you could say, I've been meaning to ask you, have you ever considered? Okay. Usually for me, I don't invite to just some of these like fit clubs. I don't invite to that. Instead, I'll say, hey girl, I've been meaning to ask you, have you ever considered a challenge group? Or, if you're in a message and it doesn't even come up, but you see someone's like liking your progress photos, but they never ask for more information, I'll be like, hey girl, how was your day? Also, I've been meaning to ask you, have you ever considered joining one of my challenge accountability groups? Would love to have you. Or you're super empowered, I see you posting about your health and fitness on Facebook. Have you ever considered being a coach and doing what I do? If you don't ask that message, someone else will, okay? So make sure you are inviting to challenge groups, webinars. Oftentimes we have webinars or sneak peek weeks, fit clubs, free groups, or a Super Saturday event. Also, note on Super Saturday event, if you guys don't notice, I'm very scatterbrained, but Super Saturday is quarterly, and our next one's coming up April 2nd and 3rd. I think it's 2nd and 3rd. Mine's on a Sunday, and I know that's the 3rd, so but get there, okay? My first one I missed, and I will say ever since then, I've been to every single Super Saturday, and now I host my own, because I thought the ones near me were too big, and they'd always sell out. And I'm just like, you know what? More people need to go to this event, so I'm going to host my own. And I started that as an Emerald coach, guys. So just step out of that comfort zone, okay? So also following up and inviting to third-party tools such as, the video library, YouTube videos about programs, make sure they aren't from another coach and they're directly from Beachbody, or a business presentation webinar. We have those in our team files, guys, so make sure if you're in Iron Edge or you're in your coaches, your uplines team, check out those files. They are gold. Also, book a phone call for a follow-up. We've been talking about this recently in team calls. Try to get people on the phone. It's so scary, and I used to brush this off in the beginning, but it works every time. Something you'd say is, if I would you, okay, just remember that, if I would you. It's from GoPro, and it's something you can say, if I set aside 20 minutes on Friday, would you be able to make a call with me so we can chat more about this business opportunity or more about this challenge group that you're interested in? I could answer more of your questions then and there if we make an appointment. Make sure the follow-up is in your hands. So be like, hey girl, I'm busy right now, but how about, and I know you're busy right now and you haven't been able to watch the video that I sent you. Would you be able to watch it and I'll follow up with you by Friday? Does that work? Put that follow-up in your own hands. Don't leave it to the customer, your future customer, right? Because oftentimes they'll forget. So just remember that, because it means more to you than them right now, because they don't know what it's all about. For them, they could just think, it's another weight loss thing that's going to sit on my shelf for months, right? Okay, lastly is the to-do list. This is my favorite part of the Power Hour because I love feeling productive, and although I'm talking to so many people per day, it's just great when I can cross things off my to-do list. So I spend 20 minutes a day going over my to-do list. Okay, if you've never heard of the 30-day push, I highly recommend you guys sign up for it. It's free. It's by Chalene Johnson, who does Turbo Fire and Pio. It's amazing. So if you sign up for it, you get a free video each and every day for 30 days, and it's a task. They also have a book for it, but honestly, you don't even need the book. I prefer getting the email. So I've done that, I think 4 times. Every time I do it, my business pushes forward, It's literally a game changer. So she shares how to make a push goal, how to set that push goal up, and then how to reverse engineer and add things to your to-do list. She says if they take more than 10 minutes per task, you need to break them up. So for me, someone that's an overachiever, sometimes, I put way too much on my to-do list. If I have a day off, I'll probably have like 20 things on a to-do list, which is way too much. And then we don't feel like we're productive. So instead, I was even talking to Carly recently, and she was saying, shorter activity might be more beneficial, right? Because it will give you that confidence you need. So I've been focusing on that a lot lately. So 2 to-do list items that take 10 minutes, that's 20 minutes out of your day. How great would you feel if 2 things were crossed off your to-do list instead of just scrolling Facebook for 20 minutes, right? So ask yourself, when you are reverse engineering, what needs to change in order to get me to my push goal? Is your push goal right now Emerald as a new coach or Success Club 5? What is your push goal? You have to define that. Is your push goal a diamond coach? What is it? To quit your job, whatever it may be. Make sure you make that your push goal and see what needs to change from there. Don't just mindlessly add things to your to-do list other than obviously, the obvious like laundry, dishes, that's always never ending, but make sure you have things that will move you forward to your goal and help you change as a person. Also, personal and professional development, training webinars, videos, connecting with coaches, blogs, videos, social media, checking emails, planning events, editing photos. All of that is also part of your to-do list. It's not something that should take up an entire hour, because as a new coach, that's what I did during my Power Hour, and guess what? It doesn't move your business forward. Those conversations for 40 minutes is what's really going to move that business forward. So for me, I like to use the to-do list as my last 20 minutes to kind of reward myself. Like, oh man, I just talked to that many people today. I'm done for the day, but instead, I'm going to do my to-do list, okay? And also remember, think of what you can delegate as you progress in your business. Okay, let's go move on. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom out on that one, but I want you guys to focus on the 3 vital behaviors. Chances are, if you've listened to other team calls or been on a call before, you know what the 3 vital behaviors are, but let's go over them just in case. 1, personal development. I want you guys to make sure you're spending time in yourself, 10 to 30 minutes per day minimum. If I'm reading, it's usually like at least 30 minutes, but I listen to, probably 10 to 15 minutes each and every morning on my audiobook on personal development. If you need suggestions, check out the team page. We all have them, or you can even ask me at the end of this call. That's been a game changer. It's going to get your mind right. Because remember, if you're talking to this many people, you might get some objections. You might have some people saying no. You may have some people hating. Guess what? Your mind's what you need solid, okay? When I first started, I remember thinking anytime I posted a photo, what is so-and-so going to think? Should I block them for my post? Guess what? Get your mind right, and that won't happen. Instead, you're going to realize how many people you have to help as opposed to how many people are going to tear you down, right? 2, be proof the products work. You guys need to be doing a program. If you are not doing a program right now, I want you to pick one tonight and stick to it. Just recently, I'm completing another program, Hammer and Chisel. Let's be real, it's 60 days. Like, that's something I've never done before. I've only done 21-day programs. Full out. I've always had like program ADD, but I said, you know what? I'm going to have confidence and I'm going to do 60 days full out. Guess what? I've been seeing the best results, and I've had the most people asking me and telling me, you know, you look great, Sarah. What are you doing? Because I feel so much more confident because I'm not just going around from PIO one day, T25 the next day, right? You're doing an entire program that gives you so much confidence. Make sure you're eating clean. For me, that's not usually a problem because of my autoimmune disease. Like, I can't get too far off track or else like I feel sick. So for me, that's easy. Drink your Shakeology. Focus on being you, okay? Proof the products work. That's key. If you aren't doing that, how are people going to trust you, right? 3, inviting. And also, instead of saying invite, I like to say connect. That's what you'd be doing for those 40 minutes of your power hour. Connecting with people on social media posts, you know, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you guys use. Some people use Tumblr now, through private message, which again is your most important way to connect. Social media posts, again, just, you know, the posts that you do when you comment on others. So connecting with other people on their posts is huge. If I'm talking to someone about joining my challenge group, you bet I'm going to be commenting on their photos. You bet I'm going to be liking their photos and things like that, because that just shows you're interested in them. People want you to be interested in them, okay? Lastly, in person. That's one thing my mom does a lot, actually, is talking in person. On, what was it, Saturday at the end of the month, she was scrambling to hit Success Club. And what did she do? She was at an Apple appointment because her phone broke, okay? In that whole 2 hours she was there, she handed out 2 business cards, guys. People interested in our challenge. Just because she was talking about it. She was wearing a Team Iron Edge sweatshirt, and she was telling people, guys, I need to get my phone fixed because I'm going on a beach body cruise. They're like, wait, what? What's that? For me, I'm such an introvert, so in person is not my jam. I still do it. But I'd totally rather send my private messages on Facebook or email because that's just me. But totally do what works for you. Make sure, you know, you step out of that comfort zone, though. Of course, I'm going to talk to people in person. It's not my favorite, but I do it. It's going to move my business forward. And remember, consistency is key, just like anything. Just think, if you work out for, say, 20 days straight, 21 days, right? 21 days makes a habit. What would your results be? What would your results be if you only worked out 1 time a week in those 21 days, right? What if you only worked your business 3 times in 21 days? What would the results be as opposed to working your business 21 days straight, right? Think about that, guys. Okay, well, this is one of my favorites. It's super simple, but this is a picture of how I do my to-do list daily, okay? It's super simple, and I got the idea from Brittany Leggett, who is one of the top 10 coaches from 2014, the year before. So she was Carly's success partner, and she was on a call one day, and I loved her idea of to-do lists because, as you guys know, like I told you, I get overwhelmed if I put too much on my to-do list. So I decided to start tracking daily activity differently. I made this little chart, and it says daily to-do list for, and I have 3 projects listed. Whether your projects are wrapping up Success Club or helping one person get started in their journey or, you know, making a blog post, make sure that's one of your daily activities. And then it has 3 columns. People I want to talk to, people, you know, you want to reach out for that day, people I'm waiting to hear from, and then it sees a little blurry. It says people that I'll reach out to if I don't hear from them. And then lastly, new contacts. It's so simple, and it's just an easy way to organize your days, right? And lastly is my priorities. And I write down all the things I need to do that day, whether they're beach body related or just for my life, right? Laundry, dishes, whatever needs to be done, it's there. So at the end of the day, I look at that little half sheet and I'm like, okay, was I productive today? And then I file them away in a binder. That's just my system. It works for me. I've tried many systems, and this is like my jam. I love it. So I want you guys to remember, find a method to track daily activity with and stick with it. Give it at least a month to make sure it's working for you. Find a method to track, whether it's pen and paper, Google Drive. I know a lot of people do Excel sheets and stuff. Also, if you are doing an Excel sheet, I highly recommend you use Google Drive so you can pull it up on your phone. I personally use Asana. It's free, it's a website, and you can download the app on your phone, and you're able to write notes about people, which I love. So you're able to, write in their name, write where the contact you found them from. So for me, like a Facebook group or something, or Instagram, however, any other contact methods. And then I write notes. Anytime I talk to them, I write a note. What happened in their day? They told me, my kid's sick. I was just in the ER this weekend. I need some time to watch that video. I will write that in, and then you can schedule when you want to talk to them next. For me, that keeps me sane, and I'm obsessed. Yes, it's a little bit of an upkeep. I love pen and paper, so I do pen and paper, and then each week I track it on Asana, okay? That's just what I do. It works for me because other times I'll just get caught up in Asana, and I will be on my computer just wasting time instead of doing my power hour. Also, Google Streak is something a lot of coaches have been using. It is an attachment on Gmail. Personally, I don't use Gmail for my business, so I wasn't able to use that. So I use Asana. And then lastly, focus on mapping out your daily to-do list and activity ahead of time. I like to try to set a daily to-do list for the week, each day for the week, and then I add on each day what's going on. Okay, we're at the end. Let me just grab some water. Okay. As I said before, conversations are your lifeline in this business, right? Remember, conversations matter. That's how you're going to build those relationships. That's how you're going to learn more about people. That's how you're going to share about this opportunity and change lives, right? So I want you guys to remember, conversations are what will make your business. Remember that. Step out of your comfort zone. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I used to be very shy. I used to be afraid to message people, but I realized, if I don't message them, someone else will. And that happened to me before. And I realized, I could have messaged them and I could have helped them first. And it really hit home when one of my best friends one day, I never invited her to a challenge group. And one day she said to me, hey, do you mind if I join your 5-day commuting group? Is that something you would, I'd be able to do? And I'm like, absolutely. But those people close to you, it's hard to invite, I notice. For people like me, it is. I was never one to invite my friends or family first because that was totally not my thing. Oh, we only have 10 more minutes. Instead, I didn't start it with a warm market. I started out with a cold market. So although my mom signed up, that's it. No one else I knew signed up right then. So after that, I ventured to Instagram and I've built my network there. So I want you guys to also remember to form, like I mentioned in the beginning, family, occupation, recreation, and message. So if you never know what to ask people, use that. That's key. Sometimes if I'm on a flight, on a plane, that works well for me because, I'm tired. Usually when you're on a flight, you're knocked out. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'm finally on this plane. I need to sleep, right? And I always end up having the best conversations about Beachbody because usually I'm going to a Beachbody event. And I think of that, form. That's all you need to remember is form. So that's a great acronym for you guys. And then lastly, go invite. Remember, just talk to people like they're your BFF, right? You wouldn't just send someone a script, right? Instead, you'd send a hey girl message. Hey girl, how are you doing? How was your day? Simple as that. So that's something I like to put in my head when I feel maybe overwhelmed or I'm not sure what to say. So let me stop screen share, and I want to ask for do a little Q&A. Does anyone have any questions for me on anything Beachbody related? I guess not Beachbody related too. I don't know. Any questions? No? Okay. I use Canva for photo editing, Canva. It's free. I love it. I made those pretty slides with it, but I don't know what happened when I was trying to download them. Maybe it was my Mac. I also use PicMonkey, and that's free as well. I love it. And then for my phone, I use a ton of different apps. Any other questions, guys? No? Feel free to ask. I hope this call was helpful for you all and that you guys are able to take action with it, okay? I will say my biggest regret when I first signed up as a coach was listening to everything and not taking action, okay? I felt like I was a toolbox full of tools and I wasn't using them. And I listened to a national coach call and someone said that once and it hit home. So make sure anytime I like to do this weekly actually, I like to take action each and every week. So every Friday I have the day off from daycare and I like to either work at my desk here or go out and like I work for my favorite coffee shop sometimes and I'll implement things I use. Pick 2 or 3 things that I'm going to use from the calls this week. Let me see. Oh, thank you guys for filling that out. So yeah, the last M is message. You're welcome, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday night. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, guys, I just had my pre-workout, so it's just kicking in. So I will end